After a long day's work, I was just gonna chill. I was gonna take another day off from trying to upload content or just like trying to follow wrestling in general. But as always, Twitter comes in clutch. And I didn't expect another Black Wednesday from WWE to take effect. And I definitely did not expect nor want to make another rant at WWE. But obviously, we can't always get what we want, right? So, obviously, Sean Ross Sapp hinted, I want to say a day or two ago, that more WWE releases would be happening. Obviously, if you followed along with this channel, every single time that there is a round of WWE releases, we talk about it. And it seems like we have a round of releases that just finished with 5 names being released. And these are some pretty prominent names. These aren't like jobbers. These aren't people that like mean nothing to the company anymore or something like that. Sorry, I got a bit of a runny nose now. But they released 5 pretty prominent names. They released Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. They released Braun Strowman for the second time. They released Shayna Baszler. And they released Dakota Kai. And I'm fucking pissed off. We're gonna go in on this bald motherfucker on TKO on all this shit right now. So if you are a WWE fanboy, if you are a defender until you die, you are going to hate this video. But let's get on and talk about the releases like we usually do before we get on to the main event. So first, let's go on to Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Now, these two, very talented, especially Katana Chance, the woman formerly known as Casey Catanzaro, I think used to be her name. But these two were a legitimate women's tag team, friends in real life, booked pretty well on NXT before going to the main roster, where they were booked like shit. Wow, a women's tag team that has chemistry getting booked like shit? Who would have thought that would happen? They had a very brief reign with the women's tag team championships, but they didn't really do a whole lot of note, as a lot of the reigns with the women's tag team titles are. And like most legitimate, built-up, chemistry-built tag teams, they got released. Now, these two were fumbled hard. Like, the whole women's tag team division as a whole got fumbled hard. That's why I've been saying since the beginning, the women's tag team championships need to be scrapped. They don't need to fucking be there anymore because we keep having these universe mode randomized tag teams win the women's tag team championships, and there is no reason for it unless your names are Liv Morgan or Raquel Rodriguez. That's it. That's it. Otherwise, you're going to have a very short reign. Or you're going to be paired up with someone else, maybe a member of the 4 Horsewomen, and then you're going to hold the belts. That's fucking bullshit. Hopefully, Kaden and Katana can find work somewhere else. They're very talented in the ring, and I don't think this should really, affect them that much. I do wish them the best. They are very good women's talents. I just wish that they would have been booked better. Speaking of women's talents and me wishing they were booked better, Shayna Baszler. Holy shit. We have been saying this for years, that Shayna Baszler was buried. Absolutely buried. I hate the word buried in professional wrestling because the way the IWC uses it is like so loose. But if there's anybody, if you look up the word buried in a wrestling dictionary, Shayna Baszler's picture should be right there. Her in NXT was an absolute killer as NXT Women's Champion. When you looked at Shayna Baszler back in the day, you would think of someone who would run through the entire women's division and someone who would be one of the most feared names in women's wrestling, period. But no. That wasn't what happened when she got put to the main roster. Remember Elimination Chamber 2020 when she ran through the entire field in the Women's Elimination Chamber to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36, and then she lost to a roll-up. And ever since that day, that fateful day, that WrestleMania day with no fans, Shayna Baszler got put to the mid-card or got put in tag team vortexes with Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. They tried to make Shayna Baszler look like a big deal again when Ronda Rousey was on her way out the door. And then they did nothing with her until they made Pure Fusion Collective with Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark. But Sonya got released a couple of months ago. We talked about it. And now Shayna Baszler's gone. Very, very fucking sad. Shayna Baszler should have at least won a Women's World Championship at least once. Why the fuck did WWE, Vince McMahon, or Triple H not see anything in Shayna Baszler? Did that match at WrestleMania 36 really affect her that much? Are you fucking kidding me? If we could push people like that don't actually deserve it, if we could push people like Liv fucking Morgan, I think we should push people like Shayna Baszler because that woman was a killer. Why didn't this happen? Like, honestly, this is so fucking stupid, and I got so fucking mad reading about it. Braun Strowman. This is the second time Braun Strowman got released from WWE. And, you know, he was released back in 2021 after he was a multiple-time tag champion, IC champion, and Universal champion. Then they brought him back. He was in a short tag team run with Ricochet. He feuded with Bronson Reed for a little bit. He even feuded with Jacob Fatu recently. He was in a lot of SmackDown shows before WrestleMania. So it looked like Strowman was still viewed pretty heavily in WWE, even if most of that was just to put other people over. But then they released Braun Strowman? Why? Why the fuck did you... Why did you even bring him back? What was the point of bringing Braun Strowman back if you were just going to release him again? There's no point in that. Because now we can look at Braun Strowman's second run and be like, he didn't really do much besides put over Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu. Kudos to him for that. But still, like, why? What? I don't understand how you could waste such a amazing big man in Braun Strowman. Like, why? Vince McMahon booked Braun Strowman better than Triple H. Wow, we can say that. We can say that. Vince McMahon booked Braun Strowman better than Triple H. Cool. Yeah, I'm pissed off. Again, much like the other three names I just mentioned, hopefully Braun Strowman can find work somewhere else. But this really sucks, man. And now, Dakota Kai. Listen, I know I would usually go on Twitter and really grill Dakota Kai stans because a lot of Dakota Kai stans are very, very toxic. But, oh my fucking God, what have we done to Dakota Kai? Sure, you know, when she was a part of Damage Control, she was booked very, very well. Women's Tag Team Champion. And it looked like they were going to do big things with Dakota Kai in the singles division, when the Women's Intercontinental Championship was made up. Honestly, Dakota Kai should have been the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion instead of Lyra Valkyria. Sure, injuries really hindered Dakota Kai's momentum. She always got injured. She always got benched. It seemed like not a lot of things were really going Dakota Kai's way. But holy fuck. And remember when Dakota Kai made a Twitch stream, I want to say a year ago, where she was mad that she kept getting benched and that she wasn't getting the most opportunities? Yeah, they really punished her big time, did they? Why the fuck did Dakota Kai get released? What was wrong with her? You know what I mean? She's good. She just got fucking benched. There's no fucking point in that. Like, what are we doing? We just released 4 women's talents, and the women's division on the main roster in WWE is really lacking. Maybe that's why we got Roxanne Perez and Julia and Stephanie Vaquer invading Monday Night Raw these past few weeks post-Mania. Maybe they're replacing those 3. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance weren't booked well. Shayna Baszler was basically a fucking jobber because WWE doesn't know what to do with her. But what the fuck was wrong with Dakota Kai? You had Kiana James right there. You had Ivy Nile right there. People you're not using. Like, I don't understand. Now, obviously, these are the 5 names that we know right now. Obviously, there could be more in the coming days. You don't know. Maybe even later on tonight. Maybe the second I post this video, there'll probably be a few more releases incoming. But like I said before, this isn't like the past few times where these are like people that were off TV for months, or people that a lot of people could even forget even worked with the company. These were people that were prominently on TV, especially Braun Strowman and Dakota Kai. People that were still on TV almost every single week for the past few weeks up until now. And this isn't a time where WWE constantly, every single minute, wants to jack down your throats. Oh, this is the largest gate in XYZ history. This is the most views that WWE has ever gotten. These are like record profits, man, with the sponsors and the fucking Prime and the Netflix deal. Like, this is supposed to be the most profitable year in WWE, but yet we still need to make cuts. Maybe you wouldn't be having this problem if you weren't signing every single free agent known to man, especially the past few weeks, especially the last 6 months, with the likes of Motor City Machine Guns, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Rusev, Aleister Black, Jacob Fatu, the Gorillas of Destiny. I could go on. Penta, Rey Fenix, Andrade, so many different people. And that's probably just a few names. Apparently Hikuleo, Jeff Cobb is apparently supposed to make his debut very, very soon. Mariah May, if her AEW contract expires like a lot of the reports are saying. What the fuck is going on with TKO and WWE? I genuinely believe TKO is going to burn WWE to the ground with their terrible ticket sales, their terrible TV, the stupid sponsors all over the place, and decisions like this. What the fuck happened to the game I love? What happened to WWE definitively being the best wrestling company out there? No, they're the stupidest wrestling company out there. Don't get me wrong, I don't like AEW as much as the next guy, especially compared to WWE, but WWE in the year 2025 has become fucking unbearable. And I don't know if Triple H is smoking some bad shit. I don't know if TKO is in Triple H's ear so much. I don't know if The Rock is just doing jack shit. I don't know if maybe Vince is still in Triple H's ear, despite him not supposed to have anything to do with TKO anymore. But stuff like this just makes me ashamed to even support this fucking company. And I know there's going to be people clicking onto this video saying I'm overreacting or calling me a WWE hater, because let's be real, for the past 3-4 months I've done nothing but rant about WWE. But like I said, WWE's becoming unbearable in 2025, and this is the biggest proof of that. I'm very, very pissed off. I wish Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance the best in their future endeavors. Hopefully they can sign something somewhere else, or they can do whatever else they want to do to make themselves happy, make some money. Stuff like that. I really would love to see what all 5 of these wrestlers choose to do next. But ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, that's going to be it for me. What are your thoughts on these releases? I would genuinely love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to turn post notifications on, so that way you never miss an upload, especially now, because if there's more releases, you bet your ass I'm going to jump on here and I am going to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this has been your boy Will from Will's Wrestling Corner. I will see you in the next video. Be good people and peace. Fuck TKO. Also, a little bit of a side note while editing. Apparently, Core Jade and Eddie Thorpe have also been released. And there's probably going to be more when I get ready to put this video out. I just got one thing to fucking say. What the fuck is going on with this fucking company, man? Cora Jade got screwed over hard. Wasn't this woman like everywhere on NXT and TNA these past few months? And for Eddie Thorpe, didn't this guy get like 5 NXT title opportunities in the past couple of months? Like, what is going on? There's legitimately no explanation for this. Absolutely none. I'm not defending this stupid fucking company, man. And anyone who does is honestly a fucking idiot. Honestly, I don't know what to even expect. Like, Wyatt Six, don't pick up the... Karrion Kross, don't pick up the phone. Scarlett, don't pick up the phone.